out with social anxiety, getting more confident in everyday life. And this is a really important topic on how to handle criticism a lot better. Not taking it quite so personally. Now, if you was to go to the absolute extreme and you took all criticism in the most personal way possible, for that to actually happen, you'd have to believe that other people's truths are your truths. But you have 5 people witness the same incident. Ask the 5 people to describe what happened. They'll all say different things. People have wildly different perspectives. A lot of diversity out there. And what this means is that no one really understands what your truth is other than yourself. You have ownership over who you are, what you believe in, your values. You don't owe other people a version of yourself and truth that they understand, that makes sense to them. So the first point that's important to make is that most critics are armchair critics. What this means is that they watch from the sidelines, cast judgments, but they haven't walked a mile in your shoes. They see a snapshot, they don't see the full story, and they jump to a conclusion. There's a quote that I wrote down, which I really liked. Brené Brown is the person that this quote comes from. If you're not in the arena getting your ass kicked, I'm not interested in your feedback. If you're not out there going for it in life, committing to your success, taking action, then why would I be interested in hearing your feedback? Armchair critics, they don't live your life, so they don't have a right to judge you. And certainly, at the most, they see a tiny snapshot, never the full story. So this means that the amount of information they're using to form this opinion is minimal. And probably if they understood the full story, they would see it differently. Another important thing to realize with very, very critical people is it often says a lot more about them than it does about you. So I'll give you an example. So I have this meetup group where I put events on to help people out with social anxiety. So I get people together, get them to face their social fears in a safe space, do different exercises, and in general, people really enjoy the events. They grow over time and they get lots of value. And people can rate my events that come to them. So I have 115 ratings. The average is 4.5 stars, which is good. So a lot of people get value from the events and really like them. And I was looking through some comments, and it's like 5-star, 4-star, 5, then 2-star. And the person that gave it a 2-star just said had no impact whatsoever, waste of time. That individual comment is at odds with the rest of the comments. Now remember, this person, he turned up Very, very hostile, quite negative, bit of a shtick, just a weird vibe. And what I thought is that, do you know what? His comment is completely true for him. He's actually not lying. For him, the event did have no impact at all. He genuinely got no value from the event because the event didn't reach him where he's at. Yeah, I've been through challenges in my life, but I've never been a hater. Of course, there's times where I was frustrated with people, but I never fully went down that hater path. So therefore, my coaching is not designed to reach people that are in that market, that have gone down the rabbit hole of hatred, bitterness, hostility. That's not what I do. That isn't my market. So it makes sense that my event didn't reach this guy because he's looking for something different. He's not looking for help. He's looking for someone to share his frustrations with. That's what he's looking for. That's something that that always makes me laugh, actually. So the coach, David Goggins. So if you don't know David Goggins, he's a very famous coach, and if you Google him, you'll see all his books and exercise challenges that he does. And he made a boot camp for haters, and he tries to sell haters on his programs. They can join his boot camp for 5K, 10K, 20K, overcome their hate towards other people. So in other words, a lot of haters, people that are in that category, it reflects on them. And those same people, they could walk through a room full of gold. They would complain that it's not shiny enough. They'd always have something to say, blind negativity, drive-by negativity, just firing off venom. And this would apply in any situation. People that aren't aligned with reality. So often with a lot of critical people, they're actually just generally critical. And what this means is that it can't be personal. Or in fact, I could say that it is personal and it's them. It's a them problem. But it's not personal to you. So it's impersonal. They're negative with everybody. And a really important distinction to make here that's just come to mind. The difference between constructive feedback and just net drive-by negativity. So constructive feedback actually feels different because it comes from a well-intentioned place. Your gut feeling is generally positive. You know that the person's got your best interests at heart. They've got experience. And they're teaching you refinements that you can make right now. Things you can work towards right now that are going to improve your life. So constructive feedback helps you grow. But just blind negativity, destructive criticism, if you was to take it on, it might make you shrink. And something that is important is it's separating signal from noise, useful value versus things that aren't helpful. And with any bit of criticism, you don't have to take it on whatsoever. You can just say, okay, here's a piece of information. Is it useful to me? If it's useful, you can use it. If it's useless, you can just drop it. If it's hard to understand, you can just drop it. So you're already enough as you are. are you doing the right things? Some criticism comes your way. You don't need to do anything in response to it. You can just be silent. You can give yourself time. You don't owe the person any defensiveness. You don't need to defend yourself. You're not under attack. They're not a threat. So you can just decide if you want to use the information or discard it. I'm just going to quickly check the time. Won't take me a second. Okay, I've got 10 minutes. Great. So I wrote some notes down on mindsets as well, and a few little quotes, and quite like this one. Don't argue with people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Some people just don't get you. They don't listen properly. They don't understand you. So any criticism they have is actually because they don't have that ability to understand nuances. They just put you in a category and judge you based on this. Which is a crazy way to treat people. I always get to know people as individuals, one at a time. I don't put people in my life in categories if I can help it, because it's quite impersonal. Another thing that so this comes from the guy that mentored me, who was a fantastic coach. He would say that criticism is a sign of success. Well done on getting criticized. You had to be in the arena and take some risks, put yourself on the line for criticism to come your way. You had to challenge someone's beliefs, throw out a perspective that they didn't like. You had to make someone jealous. Whatever it is, you earn that criticism. It's a sign of success. And of course, when I'm saying this, I'm not talking about behaving inappropriately and then receiving criticism. I'm talking about actually doing what you believe in, being yourself, and then getting criticized, which is completely different. I'll give you an example of why this is totally true. So if you look at big companies, say Microsoft, giant companies, there's lots of lawsuits that have been filed against them. A lot more than the smaller companies. It's because they have more impact and reach more people. Because they're bolder and braver. So it's a sign of success. Bigger companies receive more complaints. Doesn't mean there's not a lot of people that value what they do. But when you magnify, when you expand the numbers, there's going to be some complaints there. If you take those ratings from my meetup group, so of the 115 people that rated it, the regulars that really enjoy it, for them it's a 5-star event. For people that aren't really interested in growing as a person, doesn't appeal to them, for them it's 3 to 4 star. The odd negative person, 1 in 40 people or whatever, give it 1-2 star. But if you magnified that, if you imagine 100 times more people, well, suddenly you're going to have a number of people that have complained. But if you look at the people that really enjoyed it and got a lot of value compared to the people that complained, it's a good ratio. It's a good percentage. the other point to make, and this point doesn't come from me, but I like the point. Unjustified criticism is actually a disguised compliment. If you put yourself in the shoes of a very critical person, someone that's going to criticize somebody else, why would they feel the need to do that? There often is a level of jealousy. I mean, for me to criticize someone else, I'd have to be in a really low, jealous place to do that. That isn't how I live my life. So, in a way, you can feel a bit sorry for negative and critical people. But also, you don't need to take on their burden, get sucked into their drama. It's not yours to carry, it belongs with them. They're often stuck in a self sabotage cycle. They don't try, they don't get results. They complain about their lack of results and therefore don't try. And it's just this cycle. And often people like that, the negative people, which fortunately they don't make up the majority of society, but there is some of them out there, of course. They're often not very appreciative either. They're often a bit traitorous, can be quite flippant, can flip between positive and negative very, very, very quickly. 1 minute saying nice things, the next minute criticizing someone else. You don't need to engage with people like that. I think most people deep down are good people. Some people have been hurt, gone down the wrong path, and they've gone down the dark side in some ways, a negative way of living life. Other people have overcome things and stayed positive, stayed good. And it's okay to sometimes be frustrated with people. That's very, very human and very normal. To think, oh man, humanity, and laugh to yourself. That's fine. And that isn't the same as someone who has gone down the destructive hater path, which is it's a low place to go down. And something that I've been focusing on lately and helping out people with in my community, people that I can reach through events and so on, is the idea of patience. So simple to say it. And that's the thing in personal development type stuff. There's lots of words out there, and we all know what the words mean. But knowing what a word means is very, very different from living it. If I told you to relax, just relax, when you're giving a public talk in front of 1,000 people, it would be meaningless. It would just be a word. If I told you to just get motivated and emboss your life, it's just words. So, patience, understanding patience on an intellectual level is very different from actually living it. And I've been getting across to people the importance of living it. You can achieve a version of success that you're happy with in life, absolutely, but it's likely that it will take time. You taking one piece of action, such as joining a gym and exercising, doing a workout, pushing your comfort zone on one occasion, that is great. That is amazing. But that's just a drop in the ocean compared to what you're going to have to do to really change things. It is about putting the honest hard work in. And to draw from one of my mentor's teachings. Imagine if you won the battle of you versus yourself every day for 6 months to 2 years. Imagine what your life would look like. That's what's possible with coaching. That's what's possible with a person who's just super determined and super committed to rise above everything. And this is why patience is important. The reason that people keep coming back to self-help content, there's just always more videos, always more books, always more coaches, more teachers, more everything. It's because that there isn't this magic shortcut, magic bullet to achieving your goals in life. That's the truth. If there was a magic bullet that I was aware of, I'd tell you the magic bullet, but I never found a magic bullet. But I did find a solution which took a bit longer, but was ultimately completely worthwhile. It was like, okay, so it's going to take me several years of really hard work, but then I won't have social anxiety anymore. It won't be a problem for me. I'll be a lot more confident, have my own business. I can do that. Just checking the time to go in a few minutes. So I've been getting across the idea of patience to people. And during your journey, because it is a journey, it does take time. It isn't overnight. You're probably going to come up against criticism from a bunch of different people. As you grow more, expect more criticism. As you grow more, expect more jealousy. And I have experienced what happens on the growth journey. Because if you rewind back quite a number of years, I was the most socially anxious person that you could possibly meet. I even used to have yellow skin in high school because of the anxiety and stress that I was facing was affecting my liver and my skin was discolored. So I had really, really high levels of anxiety around people, challenges with parents, family, challenges connecting with people. I was depressed. I wasn't happy. I was in a low place. I wasn't particularly fit and healthy either. So I really wasn't where I wanted to be in life. I was trying my best, but I kept taking some steps forward and self-sabotaging, and it just felt like I was trying to break through this glass ceiling. I was just trying to overcome stuff, but not quite making some progress, but not quite getting to where I wanted to get to. And it took 2 years of highly focused effort to really do that, with coaching, with help and support. And that was the solution that I was looking for. And during those 2 years, it's not like it takes 2 years and then suddenly you're there. You're making gradual progress throughout. Of course, there's ups and downs, but the general trend is in the right direction. And this is why I'm going to start doing my my events virtually as well as in person, so that all you guys watching these videos, you can get on the events. Help and support through meeting other people, safe spaces, motivation, a chance to just get out what you're bottling up, work on yourself, grow, get constructive feedback, have that positive atmosphere, walk away feeling more confident and more motivated, being guided on the right path. I know that you're going to make real long-term progress, even if it's not the quickest, most overnight way. It's a way that works. I don't know a better way. Yeah, I've been mentored. I've paid a lot of money on being mentored, looking for answers, and giving people the best answers that I know, and most people are really happy with it. So if you want to join my events community, or you want to try your hand at being coached, I offer the first session, coaching session, 1-to-1, completely free of charge. So you get to try my coaching, experience if it's helpful for you, and before doing more sessions. And also my virtual events, they're going to start off free. They probably will become paid over time. So feel free to email me to let me know if you're interested in this stuff, and I'll send you links and look forward to meeting you. Until next time, have a great rest of your day. I do walk-in tours in Birmingham to practice public speaking and work on my public speaking coaching. So I'm doing a walk-in tour now. Then I have a 4-hour session with the client. Then I'm working on my multi-streaming setup with the green screen and all the rest of it. Action, 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 action. Always in the arena. Not criticizing others, just moving forwards and growing. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday.